This is Ashley Hodge with a Sick'em 365 post-game podcast coming to you after Baylor's 80-63 win against the University of Texas. Another blowout victory for the Bears against the University of Texas in the Farrell Center. There have been many in the Scott Drew era, but this was one of the best ones, except for the terrible injury to Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua, and we'll talk about that, I'm sure. 254-339-1122 is the number to call. You can text me at 817-721-8611. I'll read your text. And again, 817-721-8611 is the text number. 254-339-1122 is the number to call. I got Drake Toll with me. Man, what a pleasure.
I'm excited to be here, excited to be back in studio with you and Armstrong, and I guess I'm pretty excited to see Brian too, a little bit, right? He's doing his NIL stuff over there, but Ashley, I think you hit the nail on the head. There are three big storylines for me. The first one being Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua's injury. Baylor's called it significant. It looked like on the replay something or we might not see him back this season. Don't want to speculate, but that's what it looked like. Yeah. Then outside of that, I think you got to point to Baylor's beat Texas 11 of the last 12 times they've met them now. So I don't know who Big Brother is, but in this matchup, it's got to be Scott Drew and Baylor. There's something about Scott Drew that Texas just can't beat. And then Chris Beard. Man, you think when he's driving through I-35, he like takes an exit and goes through like Lorena or something just to dodge China Spring when he's going. Like Chris Beard cannot do anything right in Waco, and it didn't change today.
He's 3-8 against Scott Drew. That's not a very good winning percentage. But and I got a great Chris Beard story that I'll share as this post-game show goes along. But just a terrific performance by Baylor's backcourt. Flow was huge. The front court was great, really. I thought Matthew Meyer played incredible. His energy was just a major spark plug for the Bears, and it really didn't show in the stat sheet how well he played. The defense was tremendous. They held Texas to under 1 point per possession. That's fantastic. And the offense was clicking as well. Adam Flagler had a great game. James Akinjo had a great game. And those two guys are actually coming in, and they're going to kick you to the curb here in a little bit, but we probably have a good 30 minutes.
Right. Well, I'll get as many words in as I can.
Yeah, they're going to actually participate in the post-game call-in show, so if you have questions for them, I want you to make sure you load them up. But also, Drake, your boy Franco, hopefully he calls in because he's always the shtick with him is he always starts by complimenting me, and then he says, but you're no Drake Toll, so hopefully he can call in and flatter you to in person here.
Well, I solely came in to hear Franco. Like, there's part of this that I want to talk about Baylor basketball, but the main aspect is hearing from Franco while I'm here alongside you. But you hit the nail on the head with Baylor's backcourt playing really well. I do want to point out Flo Thamba with 12 points today. 11 rebounds. He went 8 for 11 from the free throw line. And in a situation where Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua goes down, Flo Thamba then had to be Flo Thamba and Everyday John. He had to become two players. And that is the best. I think you can objectively say that's the best we've seen Flo Thamba play since April 5th of 2021 in Indianapolis, Indiana.
It's a big opportunity for him. I mean, it's great.
2 fouls. He didn't foul out. He didn't come close to fouling out.
4 blocks. He controlled the paint.
Yeah.
He absolutely dominated the paint, and that was championship game Flo Thamba. And if there's any silver lining in Jonathan's terrible injury, we would much rather have Jonathan. Prayers up to him for a speedy recovery. Hopefully, it's not as bad as we fear. But it's, Flo's going to be able to get a longer leash as far as playing time. And Jeremy and Kendall and Matthew are all going to have longer leashes as far as their minutes. And they're very capable of carrying this team to a national championship. I don't want to hear that Baylor is now out of the national championship picture because they lost Jonathan. Jonathan is a tremendous player and a huge loss if it is a loss, a season-ending loss. But they still have tremendous weapons, and we're going to probably get LJ Cryer back in the next game or two, so they have a chance to really do something special. And they played terrific today. Great scouting report, great coaching, great effort. Just a great game all around.
Yeah, I love the fact, too, that in the first half, Baylor wins at 44-31. And after that injury, it was 16-13 when Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua went out of the game, and Baylor finishes 44-31. So they outscored Texas by 10 points after that happened. They led by almost as much as 20. So the response to that injury, and you put Flo Thamba in these high-pressure situations, and, the old, adage that's on the pillows, like pressure makes diamonds. And in these situations, Flo Thamba has responded. He did the same thing today. And I want to make a note defensively, too. Texas shot 33% today. And that's not because they had an off day shooting. It's because Baylor was constantly in a Texas player's face.
Yep.
Look at the fouls, too. Baylor had 21 fouls today.
Yep.
And that's not a bad number to have when you're playing physical basketball. 11 in the first half, 10 in the second half. It was even. And I think a lot of those are Baylor just playing that big boy, come and get it basketball. Look at the benches almost cleared in Waco, Texas. At the Baptist University, they almost cleared the benches today. And look, I don't want to fight Jeremy Sohan in that situation. I think Texas would agree. And I think that kind of, you saw a dog today in Baylor. Have you seen that kind of dog in this team yet this season?
Well, Villanova was close. So Villanova, second half of Michigan State. Yeah. There have been some moments that you say, okay, this is a team that looks ready to dominate its opponent, but nothing like today. I mean, obviously, Texas is the king of preseason hype. We know that, but
what do you know?
But they're also playing pretty good basketball. I think they're won 5 out of 6. Yeah. And so they came into Waco, a hot team, just beat Kansas, and they just got their head handed to them. Armstrong, we got anything chalked up yet on the text line or the calls? Let's see if we got any text. Should I tell my Chris Beard story?
I would love to hear. Is it radio appropriate?
It's radio appropriate.
Yeah, I would point out, too, as you're pulling that up, 29 defensive rebounds for Baylor today, just 17 for Texas. So you could argue, especially when JTT went out, because – well, Ashley, if you're looking at Baylor bigs, pure bigs, you've got 2 guys, right. Flo Thamba and Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua. When one goes down, I mean, God forbid Flo Thamba fouls out of a game, where do you go next? Yeah. And so to see one pure big on the floor, Baylor out-rebounds the defensive glass by 12, and they have more points in the paint. Yep. I think I chalk today up to effort and the fact that Baylor's effort outmatched Texas's by a large margin. Right.
And I do think you can play Jeremy Sohan at center. I think he's a really good rebounder, really good defender, strong. And, I think that if, Flo gets in foul trouble and Jonathan is lost for the season, then Jeremy's a guy who can play at center. And then Zach Loveday. Yeah. Zach has been in the program. This is his second year. He played
his second year, right? Was last year's first year?
First year, yeah. So, but he's an experienced guy. Like, right. he can give you some great minutes. 254-339-1122 is the number. We got a call? Matt in D.C., welcome to the Sikkim 365 postgame call-in show.
Hello.
How you
feeling?
What
a day, what a win, what a time. There is nothing better than seeing the look on the Texas fans' stupid faces as they leave the Farrell Center every time. Is there anything better than that?
It's very
Christmas.
It's very entertaining. Christmas is good.
It's great. No, hey, what a game. Hey, the team that played today is the team that I think we can and we are. We've just been waiting to see it. What a game. I mean, just the hustle from the moment then ball tipped off, we got after it.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Unfortunately, I think John looks pretty hurt watching the replay. I hope I don't know, but Thamba stepped up. I mean, Akinjo stepped up. Let's get Cryer back, but I'm just going to relax. And, hey, you know what? Any Baylor fans in D.C., if you can find me, drinks on me today. Y'all guys have a good day. Find me, Baylor.
Hey, thanks for the call, Matt. Yeah, Kendall Brown, we didn't mention him yet. He was good, 10 points, 8 rebounds, no turnovers, 2 steals. Adam Flagler, 20 points, 4 for 5 from 3. The rest of the team was 2 for 13 from 3. Not the best shooting night for everybody outside, although Jeremy made his only one and Matthew was 1 for 2. But James was 0 for 4 and Kendall was 0 for 4. But I'm glad Kendall's taking those. He didn't get any shot clock violations. Got the ball in the rim. That gives you offensive rebound opportunities. And Baylor rebounded 43% of their offensive rebound opportunities, which was great. So just a terrific win, and good to send Texas home with another loss. And like you say, that's 11 out of 12. Is that right?
Yeah, 11 out of 12 against Texas. So Baylor's amazing. Owned the series lately. I would say Scott Drew specifically has owned the series lately. He's just had their number. Look at the road games the past few years they've played there. They've had success. Yep. In the Irwin Center, where you could probably find more Baylor fans sometimes than Texas fans. That's not a surprise. Yeah. I was frankly surprised with like the 15 Texas fans that showed up today. I didn't know that many existed and had the wherewithal to go into an opposing environment. I'm guessing they just lived in Waco and bought the T-shirt at Walmart and went up to the arena. But I will say, Ashley, I think too, I was doing some crunching some numbers here. you look at the perspective of this game, the way that I saw this, it's a great opportunity for Baylor to move up from that 10 spot, right? So we saw them fall from 8 to 10. I thought they could have fallen a couple more spots.
Yep.
The AP favored Baylor. Duke lost this week. Kansas lost. Auburn lost. Houston lost. Texas Tech lost. I think that's 5. That's 5 top 10 teams lost this week.
Yeah.
Baylor's got a chance to move into the 7th spot, the 6th spot. A loss today could have dropped you out of the top 10, probably would have.
Oh, yeah, no question. And, to get that 1 seed, which I still think Baylor needs to make that a major goal, because I've said this on the message boards, but you want a Fort Worth, San Antonio path to get to New Orleans. And that's your home crowd's going to be there. You're going to play easier opponents if you're a 1 seed. You're going to get a good team in the 8-9 game, but the 16 is usually not a great team, and you can usually blow them out. Hopefully, that's what you work for to get the 1 seed. 40% chance to get to the Final Four if you're a 1 seed. Yeah. So it's a lot at stake, and they just got to keep winning games. Yeah. Let me tell my Chris Beard story. Armstrong, do you have those pictures? We'll put these pictures up to kind of go along with the story. All right. So before the game, I have a picture that one of my friends, I don't know if he wants his name publicly named here, but he sends me, he owns a graphic arts company, and it was a picture of the giant Chris Beard bobblehead. So I have that floating around, and then Beard comes up to me and he says, "Hey, I just want to tell you, you're my favorite fan, my favorite visiting fan." Like, he's just full of flattery and poison, right? And he says, "I wish there was 1,000 like you at the University of Texas." And he goes, "Oh, and look at you. You got the picture." He goes, "Well, that hurts my feelings. I was coming here to compliment you."
No way.
But he was very gracious. I know one of his former players, a guy named Thomas Brandsma, that followed him. I think he played for him. I think Beard started at McMurray. Is that right?
Yeah, and then Little Rock. He went there.
Yeah, so Brandsma followed him from McMurray to Little Rock to Tech. And
not to UNLV for the 2 weeks.
Not to
he
UNLV.
Skipped that trip.
He skipped that trip. But Brands was a great guy, and Brands was a guy I played pickup ball with. So I get some stories about Beard from Thomas, but he won't give me any dirt. He won't give me the good stuff for the heckling material, but just kind of a funny story.
Wow. So you got the peace offering from Chris Beard, and your peace offering back was a picture of him blown up as a bobblehead that Texas Tech spent thousands of dollars on right down the drain.
We also had a Shaka Smart poster. I also saw the Rick Barnes from 2 years ago that was floating around in the student section as well. So we had a full representation of former Texas coaches.
Wow. I saw you tweet out the other day about Shaka Smart, man. Isn't it great to see those guys win? I love it when they go to Texas.
They have 7.
And you flop at Texas and you go win somewhere else.
I think the number, they have 7 quad 1 wins,
right,
which is 3 more than Texas.
Right.
Shaka's been terrific. Maybe 7 top 25 wins, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, right. What he's done there is unbelievable. Maybe he's built for he's built for like the tier. It's a Big East. I wouldn't even say tier 2. It's one of the major conferences. But Shaka, I do love seeing the old Texas, like Rick Barnes. You leave and then you have success. It's like, it's great. What a stab. But on today's game, another thing that I was, what if I told you, Ashley, that Scott Drew's basketball team shot 81% from the free throw line, made 22 free throws in a game. That seems like the Achilles. Paul Catalina and I were talking. It's always like the Bills never have a there's always one thing with every major program that's their Achilles heel.
They're not a great free throw shooting team.
Yeah, right. You think about Scott Drew teams in the past that have been great free throw shooting teams. You can probably count them on one hand. Right. This team's not one of them. And then today, Flo Thamba too, 8 for 11 from the line. Right. I think he was 7 for 8 in the first half too. So just a complete performance today.
We got a call. Yeah. Armstrong, let's hear who do we got on the line.
Franco.
Hey, Franco. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Ashley Hodge. What can I say? Let me check my notes. 71st flawless broadcast in a row by you. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
But, you happen to be sitting next to maybe the greatest basketball or sports broadcaster of all time. My revised Mount Rushmore of sports broadcasting is now Jack Buck, Vin Scully, John Madden, and Drake Toll.
Wow.
That's a good list. That's a really good list.
Franco, I don't know if there's a way to like take an audio clip and put it in your Twitter bio, but if that's possible, you might have just done it for me. I think they have it on like Tinder and Bumble. You can do that now on dating apps. You can put little audio files in there to explain yourself. Franco, you just got. Well, I have a girlfriend, so
you've created a monster,
right?
Well, I mean, Ashley, before I get to my basketball points, quick question.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting next to Drake, do you just smell broadcast excellence?
I do feel like I'm in the presence of greatness. It's a privilege and an honor, and I'm going to feel bad when I have to kick him out
in the middle.
In
Right, Franco's already kicking me out. Franco, the reason I got an internship in Cape Cod is Ashley's the one that got it for me, so I could be as far away from Ashley as possible. So that's why I'm going to Cape Cod this summer. That's behind the scenes. It's what they don't tell you.
I love it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that on a previous call-in show, that he sent you to Cape Cod because of his jealousy of your broadcasting superiority.
No,
watch some baseball while you're there?
Anyway.
Maybe eat some lobster.
There you go. All right, let's hear.
But anyway, unlike most Baylor fans, I'm a little sad that Texas will be going to the SEC. I mean, that's a lot of wins for the Baylor program to have to make up somewhere else.
That's a good point.
I mean, geez, can they beat us at anything?
Yeah, like when you consider that Baylor's won 11 out of the last 12 against Texas. I mean, UCF maybe. I mean, maybe they can get a streak against them, but Houston and
Cincinnati.
BYU and I mean, those are good basketball programs.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to do it against those.
I mean,
teams.
in just like the last 4 months, what did we won in football?
Yeah.
Men's basketball.
Swept them in basketball.
Twice in women's basketball.
Yep.
And didn't we just thump them in tennis or something?
Killed them in tennis.
We beat them bad in tennis.
Probably equestrian.
I mean, and there's
volleyball.
They don't have an equestrian team.
I remember them beating Texas in volleyball.
In volleyball, they don't have an equestrian team. They don't have an ATO chapter. Texas has a great, what is that? It's the meat judging team. Them and Texas Tech have two great meat judging teams. But I think Franco's onto something here.
They got us in swimming.
They got us. They do. Their dive team.
They have lots of national championships in swimming.
But no, Franco's right. We're going to lose automatic wins off the schedule across the board now.
It's a great point.
Yeah, well. Couldn't happen to a nicer program.
Yep.
Anyway, man, what a great win. It was enjoyable from start to finish. Watching this game was just a pleasure. Marred, of course, by JTT's injury.
Yeah.
That really stinks.
Yep.
But do you expect Cryer to be back for Tech on Wednesday?
I do expect Cryer to be back for Tech. That's what I heard a couple games ago. So I think that's the plan. So hopefully that comes to fruition. We'll see.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I couldn't be happier with how Flagler and Akinjo have bounced back from their injuries. They look like they're rounding back into form from when we were 15-0. And if that continues to be the case, I really feel good about our chances in both the conference tournament and in the NCAA tournament.
No doubt.
Yeah, and I think Franco's got a point there in the with the conference tournament is similar to last year. Had Baylor won the conference tournament, do they win the national title?
Right.
You can make a case for both sides, but even this year, especially when you've been, I wouldn't say decimated by injuries necessarily, but that bug has been just on you the entire season. So, I mean, how deep do you want to go in that conference tournament? Which that's an argument that will be made. It's age old, Do you want to win or not?
Oh, I know. That's going to be some tough choices as to. I mean, I do think I think Scott Drew. They're so competitive. They're going to want to win it, no question about it. But yeah, I mean, you got to look at last year. I mean, it probably was a blessing that they got kicked out of the conference tournament early and ended up helping Baylor get refocused for the NCAA tournament. I do want to mention one of our great sponsors that we've been working with on a lot of events, Mike Mosley at the Baylor Club. They are open. So if you're sticking around for the women's game, they are open from 1 to 5, and you can come have a post-game celebration there, get a meal, and then go to the women's game at 5. Want to shout out to Nikki Collin. So anybody that's like sticking around for the women's game and looking for a good option for food, that is a great option to go to the Baylor Club, and their bar and lunch menu is available. So slide on by and pay them a visit.
Go to the Baylor Club.
Great folks.
Get your lunch.
Yep.
Grab a drink.
Yep.
Go to the men's tennis match.
Tennis.
Catch a little bit of that. Number 3 in the
3
nation.
o'clock in the afternoon.
And then you got they're playing the number 7 team in the country, and then women's basketball.
They're playing indoors.
Playing
tennis.
indoors,
Okay,
right? So if you get
It's a little
cold,
chilly.
you're good to go. But Franco, you got anything else for us?
No, just on the injury thing, boy, what we've gone through this year just kind of makes last year look so freaking amazing. I think we lost 3 total games to our starting 8-man rotation last year through the whole year, and that includes 2 COVID games by Flagler.
Right.
I mean, last year we just lived a charmed life, and I guess the injury gods are paying us back a little bit this year. But you guys have a great show. Got all the confidence in the world that 2 of the best broadcasters in the world will bring it home.
I love it.
Thanks, Franco. All right. Let's throw this out for discussion. Coach of the year in the NCAA, Scott Drew? I mean, think about this. All right, you lose 4 or 5 starters.
Okay. Yeah.
You lose 4 of your 5 starters. You got a talented roster.
Right.
You got a great proven point guard, James Akinjo. But to deal with the injuries they've dealt with and to get some of the wins, I mean, you tell me you get a win against a West Virginia, a Hall of Fame coach, when you got Adam Flagler and LJ Cryer out, and then West Virginia, James Akinjo's out, and I think Sohan was out that game as well, and they get a win on the road there. And, the Kansas State win. You're getting a lot of these victories without Cryer, your leading scorer. And, then today Jonathan goes down and you win that game. I mean, it's been remarkable, I think, the coaching job these guys have done with, with the injuries they've had to deal with. And to be 21-4, 9-3 in the conference, best conference in the country, that's impressive. And 9 quad 1 wins.
Yeah.
They're the most of any school. I mean, it's been remarkable what they've accomplished so far. Hopefully many great things ahead, but just want to throw my 2 cents out there that Scott Drew should be the coach of the year.
He should at least be in the running.
He didn't get it last year.
He didn't
Mark
get it last year. He should have
right?
gotten it last year. He should be at least be in the running. You got to think about, I'm going to go kind of in succession. Matt Painter is going to make a case. Shaka Smart's going to make a case. John Calipari's going to make a case. And then Mark Adams. It'd be tough to vote against Mark Adams this season, but Scott Drew is definitely in the running. Armstrong, say we got a caller?
All right. Who's on the line?
It looks like we have Brian.
Brian Etheridge. He's
Not
here.
Brian Etheridge.
Okay.
Another Brian, I believe.
Estridge, TCU.
Brian?
No, this is Ryan, not Brian.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Ryan, repeat caller from Frisco.
Nope, out west, Odessa, Texas.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go. All
All
right.
right. I got the wrong Ryan. All right.
No,
Thanks
no
for
worries.
calling in.
My call was, it's half of a shot at other fan bases and then half just proud of our guys. But you would think after the West Virginia game and the Sohan punch or the Oklahoma game and Meyer's knee,
Meyer knee.
that those fan bases, they lost those games because of that. And this team, I mean, losing your heart and soul like that early in the game, not even late in the game, and to just fight like that and win this big is just super impressive all year long. I mean, they've just kind of, like we've all talked about, the injury bug and rotating lineups and stuff. But it's just funny to see how some of those 2 games in particular, that those little instances are the reason that team imploded and they lost those games when really it wasn't. But this team can just handle so much, and they just keep fighting and winning.
Mentally tough win today. No
I like
question
that.
about it.
I like the point that the stranger the things that happen, or the more traumatic, the better Baylor plays.
Right.
And not to say Baylor's inexperienced by any means, but like you said, you're replacing 4 out of 5 starters, and these guys are just stoic. You didn't see that in non-conference. To me, Baylor looked a lot more like a Globetrotter-esque. Let's throw up some lobs. If we're not scoring, we're kind of tanked.
Right.
Then in Oregon, that's where it felt like it kind of turned in the second half, like, oh, we're not indestructible.
Right.
And that is where the maturity started to grow. And I think it's culminating in games like this.
Yeah. I mean, and you get the best shot of everybody you play. You're the
Right.
defending national champions. I mean, teams are getting up for you. But I think, Ryan, you bring up some great points about their toughness and really the DNA of this program is, toughest team wins, control the glass. I think they were incredibly disappointed in their effort at Lawrence last Saturday. So they wanted to prove that was a fluke. And I think they've done that the last 2 games. They've really come out and just played with a lot of toughness, holding Kansas State to 60 points on their home court and then 63 points for Texas. And, it was a 20-point game, the whole game.
Yeah.
I know Texas closed the margin a little bit there at the end, but just a terrific win. And next game is Texas Tech on the road. They got to try to steal one in Lubbock because, Texas Tech beat them at home. And if they're tied with Texas Tech in the standings at the end of the year and Texas Tech has 2 wins, versus Baylor, then, of course, Texas Tech is going to have that tiebreaker.
Right. What else you got for us, Ryan?
Oh, that was it. Just thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Ryan.
the call.
Yeah, I want to go on line 2 and say, when you talk about Baylor gets everyone's best,
Right.
it's not just the teams, it's the fan bases. So you go to Manhattan, right, on a weeknight, and they pack the place out. Those fans aren't there to see Kansas State, they're there to see Baylor. And I say that because in Manhattan, right, on a random weeknight, if they were playing, say, West Virginia even, the fan base would be cut, in 25%, cut in half, if not. Those fans are brought to the arena for the luster of playing Baylor, a top 10 team, defending national championship. You're looking at fan bases and teams that you're getting their best because they're there to see you. Right. You are the show, right? And I think that's happened at Baylor before. You get that with Texas, too. When Texas comes to town, you're going to pack the place out.
Sure.
It's the brands. It's the big teams. And Baylor has become that in college basketball.
Right. No question about it. Yeah, and we got some comments on the thread for the postgame call-in show. Jeff Goodman got a really good look at his number 2 preseason ranked team today. Hopefully his daughter took some notes on humility and how not to scout a team preseason. Oh, nice. Can you all touch on the UT free throw defensive effort? It was pretty poor. Their free throw defense was not up to par today because I think Baylor is 64% for the year.
Yeah.
And they shoot 81%, 82% today. So
I was honestly disappointed with Texas's effort in free throw defense. I felt like that was where the game changed today.
No question about it. We got another call?
Well, we have Smavid Doak. You would like to take this call?
I don't know if I want to take this call.
he takes his shots at Drake on
He
Twitter.
already just it is okay.
All right, let's hear it. Let's do it. We're brave souls.
Dokey,
here
come on.
Hey guys, David Smoak here. I want to take a few calls, see if the Bet US caller line is any. Was open for me to take some calls. So do we have any callers in the loop, Armstrong?
What you got for us?
We do. We have a Drake Toll.
Yeah,
Drake Toll.
You got
Drake Toll and Ashley
Toll
Hodge.
here.
Don't take his call. Don't take his call. He's a loser. I can beat him up in a fight. Greg and I were watching the game. I'll just talk because, we don't want to take Greg's call.
Is that your son,
Greg?
Greg?
and I were watching the game. We wanted some... What?
Your son, Greg.
Yeah, Greg Doak. So we were watching the game, and we wanted to have the basketball on my radio program sometime soon. We'll ask it about the bounces it took, as well as the moment by the Texas bench. Did UT deserve both technicals? I want to know what you guys think about that.
That is actually a very fair question from Smavid Doak.
that is a good
Ashley,
question.
you were right there in front of it with
Right.
both benches cleared. Nothing came of it. What'd you see?
Well, I didn't Flo get fouled hard on the?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay, and then Jeremy and Brock Cunningham were hooked. I think. I mean, of course, I'm biased, and I'm going to say that Brock Cunningham, he's kind of known for being that kind of a player.
Right,
He's in there to create chaos, and I think he clearly had hooked Jeremy, and Jeremy was just holding on and for the ride, and then of course he tumbles towards the bench with them.
Yeah.
What you probably didn't see on the television is Sermons was hot, one of the officials, and he was laying into one of Texas's assistants. And by the way, Texas, I've had some words with one of their assistants when he was an assistant at Kansas. He's pretty mouthy. Howard, Jarence Howard, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And he wasn't on the bench today. Do we got it? He's had some issues in the past. He's had some legal issues.
Oh.
Is there been anything on Twitter about him?
Of course, he's
Is
working at
that crossed
Texas.
your radar?
Of course, he's a
He's the
We're
recruiter.
trying to get him on the show, too. We're trying to get him on the show, too.
He's the
And
bag
talking
man.
about,
He's been the
why
bag
he's not on
man in the
bench
past.
and-
I know it's all legal now.
Yeah.
But,
Wow. Yeah, Smaven,
Well,
what else
maybe
you
there's
got?
no use for him because it's
Yeah.
legal.
We're also trying to confirm the SEC chant to come on my show and talk about why it's so embarrassing that it's being it's mockingly being chanted.
I kind of
I talked to
all right,
Ricky Rogers this week.
Ricky Rogers.
Mickey Rogers from Fuddruckers. He wants to do a promotion like he did last year. We'll have him on my radio show next week, and he'll answer some questions about Fuddruckers and his affiliation with Baylor University. Be sure to tune in to the Smavid Doak Show.
Hey, thank you for the call.
Thanks, Smavid. That was actually much more cordial than I thought it would be.
Hey, Drake, I'm gonna beat you up so bad it's not even funny. You're gonna be black and blue and red all over. If you know what I'm saying, you're just gonna be. Man, you better call Mama. She's gonna have to come take care of you. That's what I'll say.
Wow, I'm smelling what you're stepping in, Smavid Doak. Thanks for the call. I may need Franco to call back in after that one. That's the shot to the confidence. But I do want to point out too, Oklahoma just made a 3-pointer, and they have pulled it within 23 seconds to go. Kansas is going to get the basketball, but and Oklahoma led at Allen Fieldhouse by 3 at halftime. So Kansas had to march back against OU.
How much time is left in that game?
I got 18 seconds now left. Kansas is going to go. Nope. OU got a steal on the inbound, and they just made a layup. So now it's a 1-point game, 15 seconds to go. Kansas ball. Oklahoma vying for an upset in Lawrence. How great would that be, right? Kansas would fall to 8-3, still be above Baylor, who's at 8-3 right now. But
I like to cheer for Big 12 teams, except when Big 12 teams losing helps Baylor. So if Kansas loses today, I won't shed any tears.
No, not at all, especially with Porter Moser.
We got another call.
Bring it on.
We do. We have Steven from Virginia.
Hey, Steven.
Sweet. What's up, Steven?
We got greatness in the studio, by the way. We got Armstrong. We got Dre Toll.
Brian Etheridge.
We got J-Ron McVeigh.
Yeah.
Jaron. Is that, you pronounce it Jaron or J-Ron? Jaron. All right. Sorry for butchering your name. Yeah, I'm a basketball guy. I should know that. The McPlay's in here signing some more pitchers as part of an NIL deal with Sikkim 365.
We got Steven. Right, What's up, Steven?
What's going on?
I couldn't agree more.
Did we get rid of Steven?
He's got a great point.
Steven looks like he hung up on us.
It's pretty rude.
Well, Steven, call back. Let's get you in here.
Yeah.
Steven, call back for sure.
He's probably like, well, I'll wait for James and Adam to get here before I call back.
Ashley, from a crowd standpoint today, for an 11 a.m. game, also, the parking situation is a crap show.
Terrible.
That's a nice way to put it.
It's a late arriving crowd. I mean, everybody needs to plan to get there. For the future Saturday games, get there 45 minutes
in
early.
advance.
Because the parking situation is terrible.
It is horrendous.
So it's you know, people are missing 30 minutes of the game because of it. But
I mean, so many people on Twitter, because you could see when we tipped off, there were a lot of empty seats.
Right.
And then 10 minutes in, they started to fill, and you're like, gosh, dang, man.
Yeah, it was a full house. 21st century first world problems. But but plan to get there early and give that our team some energy. And I mean, we got off to kind of a slow start. I think Texas was 6-2 at the first media. So it's good for the crowd to get in their seats and ready to roll. To give our team a good boost out of the gates, and the parking situation is not good. And so I expect full houses on Saturdays the rest of the way. I mean, that's the DNA is. We have struggles with crowds, when it's a weekday game, but during the weekends we always get a good crowd. So definitely expect that, and I think we need to get that parking situation taken care of, but you can also help yourself by getting there early.
One of the things, I'll go on the record and say this, and I had this conversation today. You know what I love, right?
What's that?
So Chris Beard always calls a timeout in the first half. It's his thing. Like it's the use it or lose it. He's going to use it. So Baylor goes on this big long run, right? I think Chamo Chachwood just checked in. They go 8-0. They're up 16 to 8 maybe. I mean, they went on this blasting run. UT calls a timeout. The place goes nuts, right? Everybody's going crazy. And then as things start kind of dying down, hey, you guys, we're going to do the Whataburger Pick a Thing Challenge. And it's just, you go to...
Sucks the air out of the building.
Am I biased toward Arkansas? No, not whatsoever. But they do, a hog call that just ignites the place with energy for 45 straight seconds. It's deafening. I want that. Give me like a BU chant to erupt.
Well, they did do that. They do the Baylor Bears.
They do the Baylor Bears,
but only once.
Only once, and it is also you kind of teach them how to cheer a little bit.
Right.
You guys say Baylor, you guys say Bears. This is how we're going to do it. I love when those erupt. Kind of when they. What am I trying to say? Naturally, right? But I thought overall the crowd today, especially the free throws. Gosh dang, I love when teams miss 2 free throws. It is the loudest that it gets in that place. But there were quite a few moments, and I think what led into that too is Baylor Baylor played so well running the break.
Yes.
Jonathan Chamwachach was one of the best defenders of the fast break in the nation. And when he goes out, but your team still decides, hey, we're going to push the break, we're going to defend the break, Baylor did that. It's fun basketball to watch. And the fans in Waco, I was impressed. They responded today. It was a great atmosphere.
I'm going to give the Hustle Award to Matt Meyer because, Matt busted his butt to get back in transition, and he was terrific from an energy standpoint. Even though, what did he only finish with 5 rebounds? It wasn't a huge number, but I want to say his ability to bother shooters and only 1 block, but man, he was way more effective than that.
Yeah.
And he had a tremendous game. So shout out to Matt for his aggressiveness. If he continues to play like this, then Baylor can do some big damage the rest of the season because they're going to need him. I mean, with Jonathan out, he's going to need to be the guy that really steps up and plays at a much higher level.
I like that. I thought 3-point shooting today, 33% is not the best that it could be. I think Flagler, the dude can hit it from the logo with a hand in his face.
Right.
So getting him looks with the basketball. James Akinjo you could see he's a little off shooting right now, but shooters shoot. Once they start going, I think he'll get back in rhythm. But we've had this conversation before too about a tailbone. What does Scott Drew call it? A buttocks injury? I thought that vernacular was great. A tailbone injury is that. How do you heal? You can't sit down to rest,
right.
And so dealing with that is, oddly enough, that tailbone injury is going to affect the entire body.
Yeah.
And so the fact that in the first half you couldn't get Akinjo going from deep, 0 for 4 today from deep overall, but then he started getting inside, getting shots to fall, finishes with 15 points today, second leading scorer for the team. I was really impressed with how well he scored the basketball. You've got, I would venture to say, Ashley, check me on this if I'm wrong. I'd venture to say Matthew Meyer, Adam Flagler, Brown, and Akinjo all have takeover capabilities.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you could
If you
have those guys, 2 of those guys decide, I'm going to take this game over, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
Yeah, I agree with that. And James, there was so much preseason hype about Marcus Carr, and James clearly outplayed him today.
Yeah.
He had 7 assists, 2 turnovers, 6 rebounds was huge. 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Missed all of his threes, but 2 steals. It was interesting. Bill Self said this in his pregame presser before the Kansas game, kind of threw Remy Martin under the bus, but they were asking about Akinjo, and he said, we recruited Akinjo hard, but he had made his decision to go to Baylor, and, basically was saying that Brian's going to get James here. He'd made his decision to go to Baylor before, when you want to go to break? All right. Let's go to break. When we come back from break, James Akinjo, Adam Flagler are going to be here on the Postgame Call-In Show. You've been listening to Sikkim 365 Postgame Call-In Show with Ashley Hodge and Drake Toll.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and 2-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get some something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance in McLennan County takes pride in backing Central Texas football. Our agents would like to help with your insurance needs. Call 254-772-8090 for an agent near you.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
This is the Sikkim 365 Radio Postgame Show.
This is Ashley Hodge with the Sikkim 365 Postgame Call-In Show. I'm joined by James Akinjo. What a great win today. Man, how did it feel? Like, what was the emotions? Packed atmosphere. Probably felt a lot like Villanova.
Yeah.
Similar vibe.
That was a real high intensity game.
Yeah.
That was a fun game to be
Right.
a part of. Anytime Texas come to Baylor, I'm always hearing that it's always packed, and it's kind of a little personal. So that was a fun game to be a part of.
You played like it was personal, which the fans definitely appreciate. Let me tell you,
Yes,
they are number one on the hate list, and it's always good to route them in our building. And I know it's going to be tough to get a win in Austin, but you showed a lot of good things today.
Yes, sir.
Played with great effort, chemistry. I thought the energy was terrific. Would you say it was our best all around performance this year? Do you think, all things considered?
It's hard to judge, hard to say. I think we definitely played well. We definitely did a lot of things good, but we made a few mistakes down the stretch. But it was definitely, if not our best, it was definitely one of our best team performances.
Yeah. I mean, there's always things you can nitpick, but to win by 17 against a team that was preseason top 5, I know they haven't lived up to that hype, but I mean, they were, they got a lot of talent, and their backcourt's really good, and you guys really handled them and outplayed them, especially in the backcourt. 254-339-1122 is the number. Adam Flagler is going to join us in a minute, but if you have questions for James Akinjo, we'd love to hear from you on the postgame call-in show. This has been brought to you by James Perry and Bill Rosenberry. They were the sponsors of this NIL deal, so thank you to them for doing that. We got a call, Armstrong?
We do. We have Justin from Houston.
Hey, Justin, how's it going, man?
What's up, guys? How you doing, Ash?
I'm doing great. You're on with James Akinjo and Ashley Hodge.
Good to hear from you, man. Wait, do we have James on the line?
We got
James.
James.
How you doing?
Here. Yeah, ask him a question.
Hey, James. Great game, man.
Appreciate you.
Hey, I wanted to see what you guys thought of, and any of you can respond. But we're watching us go down 8-4. I think we missed 6 of our first 7 shots, and then Adam hits a 3. Meyer hits a 3. We get a dunk. I think it was John's dunk.
Yep.
And we go on an 8-0 run. Texas calls a timeout, and I felt like not only did the momentum switch right there, but we never really lost it, even despite the injury. And I felt like, the crowd played a huge part in keeping us up today, throughout, a few lulls. But I felt like that simple 8-0 run was something that we hadn't seen for a couple weeks, and it really fueled us. So I'm curious your thoughts on that, guys.
I think you're right. I think that coming out, we missed a few shots, but we wasn't really worried because I think that we knew that we was getting good shots, so we knew eventually they was gonna fall. But I think all it took was getting a few stops. I think our stops really fuel our offense. When we can get stops is when we're able to play fast and get dunks and find guys open for open shots and stuff like that. But losing John today to the injury, that was real big. So, John is a worker. So, he made sure that we didn't lose the momentum and that we just kept our foot on the gas the whole game.
Yeah, and Flo and Matt and Jeremy Kendall, they did a terrific job picking up the slack to Jonathan, on the offensive glass. But Flo played like a man. I mean, he ends up 11 points, 4 blocks, and just really controlled the paint all game long. Went to the foul line 11 times. I mean, terrific game from Flo.
Definitely one of the best games of his career.
Yeah, no question. Anything else, Justin?
Ash, I wanted to run this by you. I was just thinking. So after 6 games, we're 4-2. After 12, where we are now, we are 9-3, meaning our last 6, we had a better record than our first 6. Isn't that kind of odd? Doesn't it not feel that way? And here we are approaching our last 3 weeks, and we know that this will probably be the toughest of those 3 segments. But, it's all about perspective and having, the glass half full. And James, I know you're feeling the same way, but we are behind you 100%, and hopefully we can win a few, because it doesn't look like Kansas is going to do us any favors with the way that they're playing right now. I don't know if you guys saw the end of that game. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Oklahoma.
But, anyway,
missed a shot at the buzzer. They could send it to
how do you not shoot a 3 there? How do you not go down and shoot a 3 there? Unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, no, it's.
But hey, glass half full, man. Glass half full, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure James will be the first one to tell you that they wish they could have that Oklahoma State game back, or the Tech game too. But just those 2 back-to-back home losses were tough. But yeah, since then, I mean, especially dealing with the injuries to you and to Adam and to LJ. Jeremy getting back into form, and now John. I mean, it's been terrific, how you've handled adversity, because you've had your share of it this year. I mean, is this – you've been on some teams that have dealt with injuries before, but is this the most injury-riddled team you've seen during the season? Just so many significant players missing time because of nagging stuff. Of course, Jonathan's more serious. Langston as well.
Yeah, I would say this is definitely the most injury-riddled team that I've been on in college, but that's part of the game.
Right.
We can't cry about it. We can't go in expecting teams to say, "Oh, we beat them, but they didn't have so and so." I mean, a win is a win, a loss is a loss.
Right.
So it's next man up mentality, and that's why we work hard every day, and that's why we was only good as the bottom guy on the roster, because stuff like this happens often. So we gotta just keep doing what we gotta do.
Yeah, no question about it. I had a question in one of the threads, and it was about how important our walk-ons are, Kajana, Mitchell, and Austin. Like, what do they do to really prepare you guys, in practice? I mean, can give a shout-out to some guys that probably don't get a lot of love, throughout the season. Hey, Adam.
Shout out Jordan Turner. Shout out Kijana Love.
Zach. Yep.
Shout out Mitch Paul. Shout out Zach. Shout out all the walk-ons. Whoever I'm forgetting, please don't be mad at me. But they do a great job every day preparing us. They come in and they never complain.
Right.
They work as hard as they can. And if we having days where we feel like we ain't giving our best effort, or we just kind of going through the motions, they still gonna go as hard as they can. And every day they sit on the bench and they root for us, and they just come in and they're huge for us. So we really appreciate those guys.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so to get Adam up to speed here, we've got a post-game call-in show, so we got callers calling in, so we're going to answer calls. And we also have some text messages. We also have some questions in the thread. But let's go to the next call. Armstrong, who we got on the line?
It looks like we got Chris from Waco.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, man, I was just calling to number one, say James, incredible game. Loved the pace that you're playing with today. I was curious. I mean, it seemed like this was Flagler's get-right game.
He's here. He's here now, too, by the way. I don't know if you knew that while you're on hold. Adam's here as well.
Adam, this was your day, baby. This seemed like your get-right game. So I was wondering if you felt like you were seeing the floor differently. Coming into the game, you just feel like you had a different stroke today. What happened today?
It was really just, my teammates finding me, and it's really just a marathon this season. It's going to be ups and downs, but it definitely was a really good game. We were able to, pick each other up, especially after John, went down. So I'm just glad I was able to, play my part in this win.
Let me ask, so I know Davion told me this, and Maceo too, that Texas was last year at least a talking team. and I know they got some of the same guys, Courtney Ramey in particular, Andrew Jones, but I think a lot of it was the guard that left them last year. I'm trying to think who their third guard was. It's not coming to mind. But were they a little vocal early on in the game?
It's easy to, early on, everybody talk, especially when you got like a 4-point lead.
Right.
You say a lot of things, but when you kind of get down the stretch and you go down 5 or you go down 6, and most people don't start talking from behind. So early on, there was a lot of chirping, but as the game went on, it kind of just died down on that side at least.
Adam, it just seems like you were so comfortable out there, and even the shots you missed, they're just such in rhythm, and in every shot you took. I want to ask you about your floater game, because I was actually watching the Kansas State game, and where you drive right and then you floated off the glass. It actually, from the angle I was watching the game, it looked like you were going to pass to Meyer, but you just totally blew the pass. But the next thing I know, it hits the glass and goes in. Is that obviously you've done that a few times this year, and James, you're terrific on the floaters as well. Is that an emphasis when you do workouts with GAs or the coaches, like when you do the guard workouts, like the floaters? Is that a huge emphasis at Baylor to make sure you guys have all that in your bag?
Yeah, definitely. First, shout out to the GAs last year, Rim, Matt, P. Wavy, all them guys, really helped me with my game. Shout out to Chris this year. He's taken me and James, worked with us big time on our finishes floaters. So shout out to them. But at the end of the day, the repetition, having those guys early morning, late nights, with us and just preparing us for moments like that. That's why we're able to be so comfortable out there and finish those.
Yeah. Matt Coleman, that's the guy I was trying to think of. Matt was a talker also. All right, 254-339-1122. We've got James Akinjo and Adam Flagler here on the Sikkim 365 postgame call-in show. While we're waiting for calls, I've got a bunch of texts and some questions in the threads that I told people you were going to be on this postgame call-in show today. So this is for James. This is from James Perry, one of the sponsors of this NIL deal. It says, what did you see on film that gave you confidence that we could abuse UT inside and outside? That was a complete game.
I wouldn't say it was nothing that I seen on film. I think coming into the game, I'm a pretty confident guy, and I try just install my confidence on the rest of my guys. I think that's part of my growth and my leadership. But coming into the game, our team, we always really confident, and our goal was always to abuse, any team that we playing against on the offense and defensive end.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions here. Both of you have a shot at the next level. What do you need to improve on the most to make it to the next level? So we'll start with you, James. What do you think your biggest weakness is right now?
I think my leadership. I think me, like the type of personality I got, I'm kind of like not really like super just like spreading, you know what I'm saying? But part of my growth is me becoming a better leader, and not just on the court but off the court. And just, like I said, I think everybody can see my confidence out there when I play, my swagger, but I think the next step is me just instilling that into all the guys and making everybody out there feel like, super confident and they got the most swag in the world. So I think definitely my leadership is where I need to grow. And I obviously keep getting better as a finisher. I think I made a lot of growth there, but you can always get better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think those things for sure.
Yeah. Adam, what about you?
Winning has perks. So at the end of the day, if we're, a part of a winning program and we're, making that run in March Madness, that definitely helps. But at the end of the day, like he said, vocalization in the sense of being a leader, and just being consistent. We've had our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we are coming out there, and we got the same mindset to go out there and compete and dominate. So
yeah,
as long as we're going out there and continuing to work to be consistent with everything that we do, we're gonna have a pretty good chance. So.
Awesome. All right. One of the questions was, this is from KB10BU. We asked you this the first interview we did, so I'm not going to repeat it, but who do you pattern your game after? So we asked that question, and you can go back and listen to that interview. I'll put a link up in this link to that interview. How has the analytics revolution in basketball impacted your game? Do you think about shot selection more than you did a few years ago? I know the coach is probably, drilling your head. Don't take step back twos. Make sure you're not taking that. And James, and you've made a lot of these, but maybe 1 foot inside the 3-point line. Is that just drilled into your head when you watch film over and over again? James, start with you.
I don't think that you could just go out there and play if you're thinking about
Right.
analytics and stuff like that. I think that obviously you need to learn. Like, as you watch film, and some stuff you need to work on and keep it in mind. But for the most part, I think going out there, I just try to play freely. I don't really try to worry about analytics and what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. I think that, I watch enough film and work on my game enough to kind of feel what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. So I just go out there and I just play as hard as I can for my teammates.
Yep. Adam, you got an answer to that?
We try not to focus on, analytics like he says, but I feel like the best players that ever played a game, were unpredictable,
right.
And they could pick their spots, but they could shoot really anywhere. And you, as a defender, you don't really know, what they're going to do next. So, we try to, pride ourselves on being unpredictable and going out there. And if we see, a shot that we feel comfortable with, we're definitely going to take it. So,
yeah. All right. We'll finish up this question. We got a call here as well. What individual stat do you take the most pride in when you look at a box score after the game, James?
Assist to turnover ratio.
Yep. What about you, Adam?
That's it.
Assist to turnover. Yeah. All right. You got a block today. I think Askew gave you guys a few blocks, but you got your share.
Yeah.
All right. We got a call. Armstrong, who we got on the line?
We do have a call. We have doesn't say no name, but from Waco, Texas.
This is scary. Could be anybody. Welcome to the Postgame Call-In Show with Adam Flagler and James Akinjo.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, I'd like to first thank these two gentlemen that have come to Waco, and, man, they have so impressed and blessed our lives here. We're so enjoying you guys. James, both you and Adam, last year we got to see you some. I think the best is still in front of you. And I wanted to ask each of you about the injury situation. How close to 100% presently do you feel?
James, you want to start?
I think as a basketball player, you're never 100%. So when we talking about, basketball and what we do, we we never 100%. But, you know, if we out there, then you can't really be worrying about, you know, no injury, nothing. Like I said, other team ain't really thinking about that. So I think that, you know, if I'm out there, then I feel good enough to play, and that's where I'm at with it. I think I feel good enough to play, and I can play as hard as I can.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You know, at the end of the day, we pride ourselves on, you know, rehab, doing certain things to keep our body right. You know, we try to, you know, take this as, you know, a professional would take it, in the sense of, you know, taking care of our bodies. So, like you said, you know, especially at this time, you know, with Big 12 being so competitive, you know, it's really difficult to be at 100%. But at the end of the day, if mentally, you know, first you believe you're able to play and go out there and play at the highest level and play at 100% mentally, then physically, you know, you don't have to worry about that as much, because the mental takes care of physical a lot of times. So.
Yeah. Interesting, yeah.
Great question. Anything else? Or is
I'd just like to go to the point that we're coming up a month from now. We'll be in the thick of it. How do they foresee us being healthy and as close to premium health as possible?
Like, it's hard to predict where your body gonna be at a month from now. Like, we got a lot of big games coming up. We got a lot of more wars, a lot of more battles. So, I mean, it's hard to say who's gonna be, you know, what out there. But I tell you one thing, I mean, we're going to come and compete every night, and that's all I can say.
Adam, anything to add?
Yeah, we definitely, at the end of the day, we truly don't worry, you know, about ourselves as much, in the sense of, you know, we worry about the team, and we definitely have a lot of guys that have the next man up mentality. So as long as we are, you know, being a team and bringing each other up and taking care of each other, at the end of the day, we don't really worry about ourselves. We just worry about, you know, going 1-0 and get the job done. So,
great questions. Thank you for the call. We got another call on the line. Armstrong, who we got up next?
No, sorry, we don't have any. I was saying he's off.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me get back to this thread, and as we're waiting for another call, 254-339-1122 is the number for the post-game call-in show with Sikkim 365. James Akinjo, Adam Flagler here. NIL deal with Bill Rosenberry, James Perry is the sponsors, so thank you to them for sponsoring this. All right, so James and Adam, are the Longhorns rivals, or is it too lopsided towards Baylor to be a rivalry?
I don't know.
Well, James is new to this.
Yeah,
this is his first time playing them. Adam's been through a few of these in his redshirt year, and then only once last year because of the COVID situation. We didn't get the home game last year, but you took care of business there in Austin. I mean, what would you say about this rivalry? Is it any different to you, or is it just another game of the Big 12 from your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I don't consider it a rivalry. I mean, the Baylor community, maybe even the coaches staff too as well, you know, they consider it a rivalry. So we definitely don't want to ever go out there and not put our best foot forward. So, you know, having that type of environment, having that energy, we definitely feed off that. So appreciate the fans for them coming out. But, yeah, it's every Big 12 game I feel like it's, you know, high level, and we got to come out there and, you know, put our best foot and compete at a high level. So.
Yeah, that was from Jack and DP. This is Bear Coog. What is Jonathan's energy like, and does it pump you up to see him corral the guys, be so optimistic and energetic even after the miscues? This was asked before the injury. They did want to ask the question, what do you think has gone wrong with lobs to big men this year? It seems like we've not connected on them, maybe just, you know, some chemistry, communication issues. But it seems like we're improving in that area. I mean, we've definitely gotten better as the season's gone along. Any comments on that, since you guys are usually the two guys throwing them?
I think we have connected on a few lives with our bigs, even today, especially John before he got hurt. But last year, that was something that I seen the guys do a lot in. So, I mean, teams, you know, they watch film, just
right.
like y'all watch.
Yeah.
They watch. So, I think a lot of teams are doing different things on defense. We're just going to take what they give us.
Right.
But if the lob is there, then we're going to throw it.
Yeah. Yep. Adam, anything to add?
Yeah, it's always going to be a work in progress. You know, we work on it, and, you know, during practice, and we spend a lot of time together. So as time goes on, we're definitely, you know, getting better and getting well connected with each other.
Right. All right, 254-339-1122. We're going to go a few more minutes here. I'm going to get through these questions. Yankee Bear, James, what sets Baylor apart as a university compared to the other 2 stops that you've had? So I'll ask that first.
I feel like it's a popular question.
Yeah, we got that in the other interview too.
Definitely the culture here is different. The culture of joy is something I've never been a part of that I really love, and you know how much love the coaches surround us with, and where they coach from. You know, most coaches coach from you know, like discipline and stuff like that, but you know, through repetition and through love is kind of where they teach from. I think that's what's different, and I think we got different individuals here. Like each guy, like to a man, is in the gym and take pride in getting better and working on their craft. So I think just being around a group of guys like this is something different, and that not a lot of programs have, and I'm just happy to be a part of.
Yeah. Adam, all right, the question for you is, how do you balance basketball, personal life, school, and you have aspirations for the medical field? How do you balance that?
It's definitely a strategic, you know, attempt. I say attempt because it's still struggling, you know, to balance all those things. But, yeah, I have a great support system. You know, we have a great academic advising, tutoring. So, I mean, I'm able to work around the schedule. But it's definitely difficult. But I knew what I was getting myself into, and I wanted to, you know, challenge myself because I wanted to do both at the end of the day. So,
yeah. That's good. All right, question for both of you. What would last year's team, do you talk to those guys? I know you do, Adam, because you got a relationship with them. But Davion, Maceo, Mark was here today. What are they telling you that you need to do in order to repeat as national champions? Are they giving you some advice as the year goes along? Are they texting you?
No, they're not really texting us too much. You know, they're doing their thing. Right. And they're just really more of on the supportive side. You know, we're a different team, and they know that. But the coaches, as well as some of us, have been through it, and we have a lot of guys, as well as James, you know, coming up that have been in big games and kind of know what it takes to win these big games. So they're just more of a supportive side. They don't want to be, you know, overwhelming because they know a lot of people are coming from all different areas trying to communicate and tell one thing. So,
right. All right, biscuits and gravy. Has Jeremy's no fear hair attitude inspired you in any way to color or cut your own hair?
No, not at all. No, he's
All right, Rifle Bear. Does the team watch Our Time? Have you been watching those episodes as they come out? That's the first question. What do you think about it? And who is most likely to be a TV movie star after their basketball career is over?
I don't really watch the episodes. Somebody may show me a clip or something.
Yeah.
I might check out a clip or something like that. But I'm so focused on the season and school, I really don't have time to watch TV.
You'll watch it when the season's over.
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Yeah.
Right.
But I really don't watch it.
Yeah.
Most likely to be a movie star. Probably, I don't know. Say Jeremy.
Jeremy,
it's like he just, you know, himself.
He's got a charisma. Yeah, he's got a charisma about him. Adam?
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I'll probably watch it probably 10 years from now, to be honest. You know? But, yeah, I've heard it's really good. And, you know, ESPN guys and everything done a great job. So, yeah, definitely don't put a lot of time into it with everything that, you know, we got going on with the season. So,
right. All right, PGH Bear, what do you do to wind down from a game, and what is your favorite post-game meal? Do you do anything? Do you do any like little celebrations? Like if you get a win, like today, do you like let yourself get a treat? You know, or I mean, what do you eat after you typically have a game?
It's after I have a game, like a wind down, we get a good win or something. I love like a brownie, ice cream.
Yeah.
So like I let myself eat that after a win, and I start panicking. I'll probably go run at night, something like that.
Got to get those calories off.
Yeah, but I try to let myself live a little bit. I'm still young, so I kind of, you know what I'm saying. But that's all. I really don't do too much.
Yeah. All right, so Yankee Bear, what did you say in response to Jonathan's injury during halftime to inspire each other to finish strong? Was there anything said during the half to make sure that, you know, you don't let that be a deflator, I guess is the question.
I think, to be honest, nothing was really talked about with the situation.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of knew what was going on. But, everybody was locked in, and we definitely once we went out of the media, we had to pray for our brother. But at the end of the day, he would want us to go out there and get the job done. Right. So we all had that same idea, and we all rallied together, and did it as extra motivation for him at the end of the day. So.
Yep. Armstrong, anything else as far as calls? Listen, thank you guys for doing this. Great win today, you bet. And you've been listening to a Sikkim 365 post-game call-in show with Ashley Hodge. Drake Toll took the early shift, and then we got Adam Flagler and James Akinjo. And thanks again to Bill Rosenberry and James Perry for sponsoring this Sikkim Bears.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.